Hello everyone, it's Yvonne here from the Aussie Goddess, here to do your reading, your What's Cracking, a little differently this week. Because I'm away for the weekend, we're going to do a What's Cracking for the 15th, 16th, 17th and 18th of November. Oh, how funny, that card's jumped out a couple of times. Someone's got an offer coming in. I want to say there's a lot of you at the moment about to go through what I would think is rebirth. There's a general feeling in the universe at the moment that either someone's coming back or someone's going to give you an opportunity to review a part of yourself that no longer serves you. So it's like an epiphany moment where somebody, either an ex or maybe a family member or a friend, is going to deliver something to you that's going to change everything you know about yourself. It's going to make you do a life review. It's really close. I can feel it today. I could feel it yesterday as well. And I really feel a lot of you are getting an opportunity to drop your baggage, the things you've been taught. There's some sort of cycle closing here, and I keep getting messages about it. And I dreamed about it last night. So I think it's pretty huge. And I think it's coming right at the end of this Venus retrograde. Anyway, on to normal stuff. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. As I said to you before, I will be doing things differently because I'm an hour away for, 3 days theory. Three days in theory. So I'm away today, which is the 16th, 17th and 18th. And I won't be back to do your readings till the 19th. So I'll be doing your weekly reads today, and I'll be doing this as a weekend reading for the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, sorry, I'm giving the cards an extra shuffle because I want them to give you the messages for the 3 days. So what's cracking? Okay, now remember these readings apply to everyone. They are not a sun sign. This is general energies of what's going on in the world at the moment. And we have the Hanged Man out. Now the Hanged Man talks about taking time out to allow yourself to look at things very differently. It's a time for going inside and really seeing everything from a different perspective. And this fits very, very much with what I was just saying. The universe is really taking you out of who you are. And a lot of people haven't really discovered things within themselves that lay deep and buried. We're all doing that at the moment. I just keep having these messages coming through, and I'm thinking this is just worldwide. A lot of people are going to be hit with this one, and I feel like it's not far off this retrograde finishing. So this is about us introspecting and trying to understand what it is about ourselves that we need to get rid of, and see who we truly are. So for me, the Hanged Man is about actually seeing who you are. Very strong this morning. Okay, so we have the Five of Cups here. So the Five of Cups talks about looking back at what you've missed out on rather than looking forward to what you can expect. Now, this is huge because a lot of people do this. It's just the way we are as human beings. It's how we're conditioned. We regret. We feel guilt. These are not really part of what human emotion is about. They're things we're taught. And understanding that sometimes when you're looking back at things and having regrets, this can be about, you know, having this idea that you've done something you could have done better. You could have, you know, perhaps if you'd have done things differently. We all do it. This is what this card's talking about here. I think you're going to get very deep reading this morning. Okay, so we have a King of Swords here. Now, the King of Swords can represent the air signs, and he talks about the logic in this particular sign. So we're talking about air. So we're talking about thoughts, things going around in our head. Now, the King of Swords can be a person who is very logical, very thought processed, very much in his head about how he does things, which serves him. It serves him in his work. It serves him in what he has to do. So he's so busy thinking that he doesn't do as much of the feeling. But he's definitely going about his business. Now, this could be how you are at the moment. It could be that you're living in your head more than in your intuition, and that's okay. It may serve you. And then we have a choice coming in here. So we have a choice between the two things that are fairly equal. We don't have all the information yet, but we know we have to make a decision. We're just not really wanting to make it at this time. So we may have taken time out to start thinking about how we want to do this. But something's changing here. And there's a balance that needs to be kept while you're making this decision. You are waiting for your ships to come in. Something is coming towards you. We can see that here. But you're trying to keep this balance while you're waiting. So this can be balance of heart and the head. And it could be when you look at these two cards, you can understand why you're being told that. This is feeling with the heart and not thinking with the head. This is thinking with the head and not with the heart. And then you're asked to make a decision based in both of these and having an equal decision. But you see, in order to do that, you've got to keep this balance that the universe wants you to keep. Okay, so what it's like, for example, if you've had an argument with someone and someone's done something to hurt you and it's hurt you, it isn't really anything you couldn't have forgiven, but it hurts you. And your reaction is to go in fully with all your emotion. You know, you might yell, you might argue, you might call the person names, whatever you feel like doing, but everything comes from the emotion. And then afterwards, your head kicks in and you go, wow, what did I do that for? That was really strange. Like, that was just such a small thing. And I've just unloaded all this stuff on this person when I could have just walked away and just forgiven them or forgotten about it or whatever. And I think this is what this card here is talking about is, you know, do you keep looking back at what you've done and trying to understand, you know, that sometimes your emotions take over from you and you don't think clearly. Okay, so then we have here the Seven of Pentacles. Now, the Seven of Pentacles talks about being patient, planting seeds for the future, and understanding you're on a journey where you are bringing in, you know, new things. You're manifesting here. So you're definitely trying to manifest something new here. And the universe is saying you've got to be patient. We want to bring you in this beautiful new thing. We want to bring you in joy and happiness here. But in order to do that, you have to make this decision here to move this forward. And I feel like that, oh, okay, so it could be something to do with your childhood. Very often we look at this card and we feel like it's a past card in terms of, you know, past lovers, soulmates and all that sort of thing. But there is times when this card comes up when it talks about going back to who you were as a child, understanding what you've been taught along the way that may no longer serve you. So when you're a child and somebody does something bad to you, you go fully in with your emotions. You don't really care about how you're thinking. You don't control it. You scream, yell, kick, chuck a tantrum, whatever it takes to get your own way. And some of us have learned that that behaviour is okay as adults. So we go in with that behaviour. So instead of stopping for a moment and thinking, is this thing right? Can we talk about it? Is it something we can discuss? Or do we need to go in and chuck a tantrum? But a lot of us go straight to tantrum. So there is something here that's binding you from moving forward. And I feel like this card talks, and it's funny because the messages I've been getting are around what we call victim mentality. And I'm not talking about the out and out victim, you know, poor me. I'm talking about the stuff that's embedded deep inside of you that stops you from managing things like you would if you were really balanced between heart and head. This card here, you can see she wants to walk away from these swords. Well, she doesn't, but there's nothing to stop her. Her thoughts are keeping her locked in this situation. I feel like you've got someone coming in to help you get out of this. Someone's coming in to release you from these bonds. And do you remember I said at the beginning that I have a feeling that someone is coming in to release you? I'm just not sure how this is going to be done, but I keep seeing this sword thinking maybe it's going to cut really hard when you hear this message. Sorry guys, but this is exactly the message I had from Spirit. So this talks about moving forward and working on things. This talks about working on things with other people, But I really strongly feel this isn't about, one person in particular. This is about going forward and understanding that in order to move through your life really freely and really as you are, you have to learn to work with other people. Using your emotions can serve you in that moment, but it may not serve you going forward. So this is about being able to understand how when you react in that emotional way, that you don't think about what you're doing. Oh, I'm sorry. I should really say, I do this. I get really emotional about something. I want to tell someone to shove it up their backside. And then afterwards I think, wow, I could have just said to them, I don't like the way you're treating me. I'd like to do it this way instead. Or, if you're going to treat me that way, then you need to do this instead. But I don't. I react with emotions. It's my lesson. So here's karma. So you're being offered a gift here from the universe. You're being offered something that will help you give back what you've created in yourself. Amazing reading, and exactly what I got through last night. So what we are learning over this weekend, and it could be because somebody comes to us and says something to us and we choose in that moment to stop, think about how we would handle that emotionally, and then react in a way that serves ourselves. We haven't been doing that before. We've been pushing people away. We've been, reacting with emotion, and now we're being asked to stop for a moment, think about what it is you want to say, be assertive, not aggressive, act with a very balanced heart and head, and go into this in a very adult-like way, not like we would if we were 5. So exactly the message I got last night. Beautiful spirit is so good like this. They will always back up these beautiful, I don't even know what to call them, messages, insight. It's fantastic. And it's out there for all of you. So some of you are hearing from someone, could be someone from the past, could be a family member with the sunshine card here, but definitely being asked to handle whatever situation comes your way with a balanced heart and head, because it's there to teach you a lesson. Thanks, guys. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you Monday morning bright and early for What's Cracking.